The text arrived while the kettle was climbing toward a whistle. I noticed the typing to warble first, that familiar bounce that pretends to be casual. When the message landed, it came dressed as cheer. We've decided to keep Christmas peaceful this year, no kids this time. The emojis were bright enough to sting. Peaceful. As if the word itself had been scrubbed clean and handed back to me as evidence. I read it twice. Not to confirm what it said, but to check whether my body would react the way it used to. Tight shoulders, that small dizziness that came from being told something was for my own good. Nothing happened. The kettle kept its steady hiss. The room stayed ordinary. On the couch, my son had paused his show. He looked up with the kind of seriousness that only belongs to children who aren't yet practiced at offense. Are we the rowdy ones? He didn't sound hurt. He sounded curious. That mattered. No. I said. I crouched to his level, which has become a habit even when there's no need. You are ideal, baby. He nodded. Satisfied in the way children are when the answer fits the shape of their world. He pressed play. A cartoon dog resumed solving a problem that would be resolved within 11 minutes. No matter how dramatic the obstacle. I turned off the stove. Growing up, peace had meant volume control. Peace was a house where voices didn't spill, where laughter was allowed only if it arrived already folded. Peace was an agreement you kept by anticipating what would annoy the people with the keys. It took me years to understand that peace, in that sense, was not an atmosphere but a rule. I didn't type anything back, I didn't screenshot the message for later proof. I didn't call my sister to triangulate the hurt. I made tea. I cut an apple. I packed tomorrow's lunch because routines, when they work, are a kind of truth. Then I opened the app. The family had never noticed how the money moved. It's funny what becomes invisible when it works. Years ago, when my parents downsized and my sister floated between contracts, I'd quietly set things up, utilities on my card, streaming subscriptions bundled, a shared grocery delivery account for holidays. It was easier that way. No one liked paperwork. I was good at it. I paused the shared cards. Not cancelled, paused. I turned off the grocery account's family access. I removed my card from the streaming bundle. I scheduled nothing dramatic. No emails sent. No warnings issued. The app asked if I was sure. I was. Back in the living room, the kettle clicked off by itself, a soft authoritative sound that didn't ask permission. I poured the water, steam rose and disappeared. My son laughed at the dog on the screen. The world kept its scale. 12 minutes passed. My phone buzzed. Hey, random question. Did something change with the grocery account? A minute later, lol, our order just didn't go through. Another, probably a glitch. I let the messages stack. Silence has a shape when you allow it to. 15 minutes in, my mother tried calling. I watched it ring out, not with satisfaction but with a kind of clinical interest. There it was, the pivot. Authority entering the room without me lifting a finger. The system did what systems do, enforce the terms. By 20 minutes, the emojis thinned. By 25, they disappeared. My card was declined at the pharmacy. Is your app down too? We're at checkout. Can someone please call me? I folded laundry, socks in pairs, shirts smoothed. My son wandered over and asked for help with a zipper. I fixed it. He ran back to the couch, already whole again. At 30 minutes, my father's name appeared. Hey, he said when I answered. His voice carried that careful brightness reserved for misunderstandings. There seems to be some kind of issue with the cards. I said. A pause. Any idea what's going on? Yes. Another pause, this one longer. I can picture an Astorial cart angled toward impatience. So, I said. I'm not contributing to things I'm excluded from. He cleared his throat. This isn't about exclusion. We just wanted a calm Christmas. I want that too. I said. I kept my voice level because I meant it. For my household. Silence traveled across the line. In the background, I could hear the store beeps, a child not mine complaining about candy. Authority was everywhere once you listened for it. Are you punishing us? He asked. No. I said. I'm aligning my resources with my values. He exhaled, sharp. This is extreme. It's administrative. I said. Can talk later. We're in the middle of. I know. I said. And I did. I knew exactly where they were, because that was always the moment when inconvenience arrived uninvited, and suddenly conversation became urgent. When I hung up, my hands were steady. That surprised me more than anything else. The group text flared again, this time without decoration. This is ridiculous. Call us back. We didn't mean it like that. You're overreacting. Please fix this, I didn't reply. Not because I was trying to teach a lesson, but because there was nothing to clarify. The boundary was already doing its work. That evening, we ate pasta with jarred sauce. My son told me a story that had no beginning and an excellent ending involving a rocket. I listened. I asked questions that mattered. When he went to bed, he asked if Christmas was still coming. It always does, I said. And I meant that too. In the way adults mean things that are true but incomplete. Later alone, I wondered if leverage had changed me into someone I wouldn't recognize. The thought didn't accuse. It examined. I considered whether care had quietly turned into pliance over the years. Whether generosity had been mistaken for access. I sat with the discomfort without trying to name it a virtue. There were no apologies that night. There were no reconciliations. There was one more message from my mother. We raised you better than this, which I read and set down like a letter addressed to a previous version of myself. In the days that followed, nothing exploded. That was the strangest part. The world didn't rearrange itself around my decision. Bills were moved, subscriptions lapsed. New routines formed. A few calls went unanswered on both sides. The air cleared in small, unremarkable ways. On Christmas morning, my son tore paper with the enthusiasm of someone certain he belonged. We FaceTimed friends. We made pancakes that burned at the edges. Somewhere else, there was peace too, I assumed, quieter, perhaps, more controlled. I didn't feel victorious. I felt intact. Power, it turns out, doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it just clicks off the kettle and waits for the room to notice the silence.